Hi everyone, my name is Kaili Wormington and I'm a child and youth counselor at Open Doors for Lanark Children and Youth on the Family Resource Team. Welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. Just a reminder that this video is intended for Ontario audiences only. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about self-regulation. Many parents out there have probably been noticing that their children can struggle at times with controlling their emotions, especially given the current uncertainty in our world and with their normal, everyday routines being majorly disrupted. Some may be asking, what is self-regulation? Psychology Canada defines self-regulation as the ability to manage disruptive emotions and impulses. In other words, it means being able to think before we act, which we all know isn't always easy for some of our children. If you're a parent, chances are you've witnessed a tantrum or two in your day. When these behaviors happen occasionally, we can usually manage it. But what happens when these behaviors become more frequent, challenging, and more intense? We may often feel frustrated, helpless, or even a little bit dysregulated ourselves. Today, I'm going to be talking about 4 different ways to support children and develop self-regulation in your home. The first thing I'm going to talk about is mirroring. In the midst of one of your child's big emotional outbursts, challenge yourself to stay regulated. I know this may be hard, but children will often mirror the stress and emotions of the adults around them. And when a parent is able to stay calm, they're better able to respond to their child with compassion and empathy, which is really what they need most during that time. Next on the list is providing structure and consistency. Let your child know what to expect and what is expected of them. You can create developmentally appropriate expectations to the best of your ability and try to stick to them. Predictability helps decrease stress in children, which then in turn makes them be able to self-regulate those big emotions a little bit more. Third, help children develop a coping toolbox. When teaching kids how to self-regulate, the idea is to help them stop and think before acting on those big emotions and use positive coping strategies to do so. Some ideas could include a mental break, so listening to music, reading a book, drawing or coloring. A physical break, so getting outside for a bike ride, a walk, doing some stretches or exercising within their house. A mindfulness break, so meditation or yoga. A grounding activity, so some simple breathing or slow counting to bring them back to their center. Or a connection activity with you, so playing a game, encouraging them to talk to you about how they're feeling or ask for help when they're struggling. Simple things like that can really help teach kids how they can regulate and what coping strategies work best for them. Lastly, hold back from punishing any dysregulated behavior. Instead of punishing a child for an emotional outburst, use it as a starting point to see where your child needs more support. Use it to discuss where things got hard for your child and how they can cope with that big emotion, rather than punishing them for the behavior that accompanied the emotion. Using all 4 of those small things, maybe even just once or twice a day, can really make a big difference in developing self-regulation skills in your child. Self-regulation is a skill that will help your child have the ability to cope with stress, anger, and disappointment, and will help them be more successful in school, in the home, and also in the community. The more children and parents practice self-regulation together, the easier it will become for them to manage those big emotions in public. Thanks everyone for tuning in and watching, and I hope you're all staying safe, practicing some self-care and self-compassion, and spending time with the ones you love. We'll see you next Wednesday.